My name is Malcolm Roberts, and I'm the chairman and CEO of FM, the title sponsor of this event.
So what do you think of the event so far?
I think it's been fabulous. It's a great week. I think the athletes, the golfers have just put on a great show. I think the course has been fantastic, and it's been a good event for the fans and the whole community, so I'm delighted about it.
What's been your favorite part so far?
Ooh, it's not over yet. So watching the winner walk down 18, I think will be fun. But I haven't enjoyed the activation of all the, watching the players come together. I had the dinner with the players on Wednesday night and the families. That was very nice to see.
Are there any hobbies aside from your job?
Oh, golf, yeah. I could be a professional golfer, but I chose insurance. I think I could give Angel a run for her money. What do you think? No, there's a reason I do insurance. Believe me, there's a reason I do insurance. But I'd love to golf, but I wish I was as good as these ladies out here.
So how did you get into golf?
As a young man, 10 years old, child, about your age, playing with my father. Loved it. Teaches you a lot of good things, way more than just the sport, right? Teaches a lot of great things.
Thank you so much.
Great job. You're gonna be a pro.
No, I've heard of this. Someone drank it on the course. Yeah, they're delicious. No.
No.
Did you do more interviews?
We drive this truck all over the United States and Canada. Regular sized truck, but it has these two big expansions on the sides, so we have a whole bunch of space inside. Thank you, Carrie.
You're welcome. Hi.
After you. All right, let's go right in. Right here. So, I don't know how much you know about FM, but we are a very old insurance company, which probably sounds incredibly boring, but we are actually pretty interesting because we're engineering based, and we work with big companies to find ways to safeguard their buildings against fires and floods and hurricanes and everything that they face, so that those events don't really become events for them. And it all started in Rhode Island, just a little bit south of here, when this guy, he made a whole bunch of improvements to his building to protect it against fires and couldn't get a lower insurance cost. And he didn't think that was quite right, so he found other people that shared in his belief that they should prevent losses, and they formed their own insurance company, and we are still that same company almost 200 years later. And we get to do fun things like blow things up, set fires, replicate hurricanes, all so we can understand those hazards and help our clients protect against them.
Nice.
You want to get a little preview?
Sure.
All right, we're going to take a quick little virtual trip to Rhode Island, which is where we do all of our research. Which one do you want to start with? Fire, earthquakes, wind? What sounds interesting?
Fire.
Fire. All right, we're going to go to the biggest laboratory we have, which is a 4-story high burn lab. It's the biggest of its kind in the entire world. And this is where we set fire to things, all for science. In this video, we see these 2 little storage racks, which you can see all over the place, right? It's stores and different types of businesses. But the difference when we set them on fire is one has a fire sprinkler on top of it and one doesn't. Have you ever seen a fire sprinkler up close?
Yes, but I haven't seen it in action, thankfully.
Well, let's do that right here, safely though.
Yeah.
You're right, if you see a fire sprinkler in action, that's usually a very bad thing.
Yes.
So this is a fire sprinkler. If you want to hold it, you can.
Yeah, I've seen so I'm staying at a hotel right now, so
Yep.
I've seen these at my hotel, so.
Oh, perfect. All right. Do you know how they work?
The fire alarm goes off, like at a building or something. It triggers the sprinklers and, like rain, it falls.
It's a lot of water. Yeah, so actually what you described is what you see in a lot of movies and on TV. But actually, the sprinklers are activated by the heat of a fire. So when you go up to the wall and you pull on one of those red pull stations for an emergency, it actually won't set these off. But a lot of movies you watch, you see that, right? Yeah, exactly. That's why almost everybody that comes in the truck describes that same scenario. But really, these fire sprinklers, they have this little glass bulb, or some have this fusible link in the center. And when they get really hot with a fire below them, it melts and breaks. And then all the water that's sitting right on the other side starts coming down on a fire. And it looks like this. Really, it looks like a big umbrella pattern of water like we see in this video right here. So basically, all the water starts coming out in this big upside down umbrella. It's going to start now. It'll get up to full pressure in a minute. And the sprinkler you're seeing here, it's pretty much the size of this sprinkler right here. So it's what we'd see in like a school building or an office building. And then really big places like warehouses or somewhere like Home Depot or Lowe's is going to have a really big sprinkler like this one. It throws a lot more water. It's pretty cool, right?
Looks like it's raining out.
It does look like it's raining, yes. And it'll look like a hurricane if this sprinkler was going off, because it's going to throw a whole bunch more water.
Ooh.
All right, let's go back over to our research area, because we talked a little bit about fire here. What else do you want to learn about?
Earthquakes.
Earthquakes, yeah, for sure. So over in our natural hazards laboratory, one of the things we study is earthquake. And we have a big shake table that allows us to replicate any earthquake signature in history. So in this video, we put these identical rooms on top of the shake table. And while they look alike, they have a few very small feature differences. So this propane cylinder, this one has a rigid connection and it breaks in the earthquake. This one, it has a flexible hose. So when the cylinder goes back and forth, it doesn't break and release all this gas into the room. The fire sprinklers, like we just saw there, they're braced, so they move around and don't get broken during the earthquake. And then there's this technology on the storage rack that keeps it from toppling over. But just some easy things that people can do to make their building more secure if they have earthquakes in their area. Let's do one more.
Let's do wind.
Wind. All right. Do you know what the most vulnerable part of a building is when you have a hurricane? What would you be most worried about? Any guesses?
The top.
The top, you're 100% correct. So the roof of the building is the most vulnerable part of a building during a hurricane. It kind of experiences uplift like an airplane. So when a plane flies, it has this uplift pressure. The same thing happens to a roof, and that's what's happening in this test that we're running on this roof right now. We see that rubber membrane of the roof blowing up like a giant balloon, and we test it until it fails and it pops, like it just happened right there. And we give different roofs wind ratings, so that if you're here in Massachusetts, where we get pretty strong winds from hurricanes, or down in Florida, you want to have a roof that can hold against stronger winds than maybe somewhere in the middle of the country that doesn't have a strong roof. All right, you want to have some fun with some water?
Sure.
All right, let's go over here to our little flood table. So floods, we see them a lot on TV in the news, right? Flooding is happening all over the place, but if you own a big business, it doesn't mean that you're out of luck. There's things you can do to keep your building safe. So this little building here, unfortunately, is having a flood right now. There's this rain that moved in from this big storm. We've got this river nearby that's bringing a whole bunch of water and sending it out our building. So what do you see happening here?
Water seeping in through like the windows and the doors and all that.
Yeah, it's coming right in those doorways. If we look inside the building over here, there was an electrical transformer out there. When the water hit it, it knocked the power out. So there's no power to this building. And if they had any maybe items that needed to stay cold, like maybe they store ice cream in here, right? Or they make ice cream. Or they had some piece of equipment that needs to always run. Unfortunately, there's no power for that. If you own this property, that's a concern. It's going to cause a lot of damage when that water comes in here. Now also, my car's parked here. It could start to float away or certainly be ruined by this. We've got tanks with gasoline and propane, all being impacted by this flood. Now, if this was really a building, this is probably going to take them weeks, if not months, to clean up and recover. Right? In the meantime, they're not going to be able to make their ice cream or whatever they make here. People might be out of work because there's not a building to go to work in. So, if it was your job to protect this building against another flood, what are some things you might want to focus on?
As you can see, the water is seeping in from like all those doors over here.
Yeah.
I think we need like doors that are like waterproof and like don't let the water in.
I love it. We got an example over here. You see a lot of people using sandbags, right? You want to just see how heavy that is? Yeah, it's really heavy, right? It's about 40 or 50 pounds. It takes a lot of sandbags to protect a doorway, so it's not really a great solution. This is a good alternative, though. So this is a little bit lighter, right? This I think you can pick up. So this is
Oh,
a
yeah.
flood plank. If there was a door right here, you'd have these brackets on the side, and then you'd slide that plank right in. You want to give it a try?
Sure.
Yeah, either way is fine. There we go. I'll help you give it a good push down. We just slide it right in. So this is a flood product that FM Approvals tests. So while we provide insurance, we also have a group that tests products. They test flood barriers, fire sprinklers, a whole bunch of different things. And this can protect up to 3 feet of water. So probably about here. We do a bunch of testing on these. We put them in turbulent water. We shoot telephone poles in the water at them and do impact testing. Because if you think about a flood, it's got a bunch of stuff in the water that these barriers need to be able to withstand. So this is a good example of what we should do at our little building. You want to help me do that?
Sure.
All right, I'm going to give you 2 flood barriers, miniature versions of that. And there's 2 doors over there. Just spin it right around. You got it. Perfect.
And then over here.
Love it. All right. What else?
Those garage doors.
Yeah, what do you think we could do? This loading dock's like a giant water slide right into the building.
Block off either this side or those two.
You got it. Have you done this before? You know all the answers.
No. I'm just guessing.
So this is a very big version of what we just did right there. You want to put it into place? Put it right in front of the door. There you go. What about the power? When the water hit this transformer, we lost all the power inside. What can we do about this transformer?
What if we build a barrier around
We could build some kind of barrier around it. You might have seen there was this big orange product outside the truck. We could put that around it. Or a great long-term solution would be if we permanently elevated that higher into the air, so the flood water just comes right underneath it and doesn't do any damage. So do you want to lift it up a little bit? All right, and I'm going to slide this underneath, and then you can push it right back down. Awesome. Good job. Now you see that piece on the edge of the flood table?
Yeah.
That's a big levee to the top of the river. You want to place it right on top of the river?
Sure.
Awesome. And then we got 2 more things right here. This gas tank and this propane tank. So for the propane tank, we're going to put these 2 straps right on top of it. Strap it down. Awesome. And then for the gas, we're either going to build a wall around this or maybe use some type of flood product that we can deploy around it. You want to help me put it down? Because it does snap down real quick, so I don't want anyone to get their fingers caught. Awesome. All right, and the last thing we're going to do is we're going to move these vehicles and things up to higher ground. And luckily we did that all in time, as I think there's another flood coming. All right, well that river's going over the levee, so I'm glad we put some things over here. Get all that clean flood water coming at our building again. But how are we looking inside? It looks a lot drier.
Yep, and the power's still on, so.
Power's still on. So this is a much, much better day for this company here. Anything else that looks cool?
I mean, it all looks cool,
It all looks cool. You see the inside of a fire hydrant?
No, I have
Probably
not.
see these out in front of your house, pretty much everywhere. So we cut a big hole in this fire hydrant. Now this part is all underground typically, and it might go even deeper into the ground. And that's because the water you want to keep below where it's going to freeze, especially up here in Massachusetts.